Hey guys, Grifton here, and today we're going to be talking about when to go get your spells in Wrath. But before we get started, please take the time to like and subscribe, as it really does help me out. Okay guys, so as you're leveling, you know you're going to be getting new spells, but when is the good time to go pick them up? Do you run every level? Do you wait until maybe a certain time? That's what we're going to be discussing. And I do want to point out that every single level has at least one thing, so there is no time where you don't get anything, though some of them are very major, like skippable ones, but we'll talk about that as we get to it. Let's start at 71, and painfully is one of the more important ones. So you get Demo Roar, Rip, Swipe, and Tiger's Fury. If you don't know, Demo Roar is a bear ability and the rest are cat. Rip is going to be your finisher. This is going to be used a lot when you're doing dungeon farming, if you're doing like on the bosses, like only on the bosses. You really don't use this in trash because you're going to just be doing AoE. At level 70, you couldn't do AoE, but luckily you're going to get Swipe Cat. But like for level 70 dungeons, 71, you're going to be using Rip as a finisher. So it is going to be used. Is it a priority? It doesn't matter because Swipe Cat is. So if you're doing any dungeon, you're going to be getting Swipe Cat, and that means you'll be getting Rip. So Rip doesn't matter, but it is still very useful and you should pick it up. Swipe Cat is really good for dungeon grinding. It's pretty much your actual AoE you finally get for Cat. If you are farming out in the world questing, this isn't necessarily a drop what you're doing kind of thing. It's still helpful. You don't absolutely need it for dungeon or for questing because you're usually just single targeting everything. And worst case scenario, if you pull big, you can switch to bear and just burn them down. Also, if you're going to get anything at level 71 for these two, you're definitely going to pick up Tiger's Fury. This is good for everything cat related. So if you are soloing, solo questing, or dungeoning, this thing's going to be really good. However, if you're solo farming, it's not absolutely necessary to get these upgrades. That would be the only time I wouldn't absolutely drop what I'm doing to get your new spells at 71. Okay, so 72, you get Ferocious Bite, Rake, and Swipe Bear. Now, Ferocious Bite is your finishing move you're going to be using in dungeons for, sorry, not in dungeons, in questing for cat. So this one might be a big deal for you, though it's not that big of a deal to have a bigger finishing move, like getting the upgraded rank. So you could live without this if you're trying to. Same thing with Rake. You really don't use this in open world, and even in dungeons, you will apply Rake, but it is not a high priority early on. It really becomes a bigger deal later on. So yes, you can still grab it if you want, but I wouldn't drop what I was doing to pick this up. Swipe Bear, if you are bear leveling as like in dungeons, this one might be worth just hopping over if you get some free time, but I wouldn't drop what I was doing. As a bear, your job is not to do damage, your job is to hold threat, and yes, this will help do more threat, but not a significant amount enough that you will drop what you're doing and pick this up. You'll get this when you get a chance in a very recent level. So let's jump down to 73. So you get Claw, this is clearly a joke, Lacerate, and Maul, and Ravage. Yep, those are the four. Okay, so Claw is a joke. It's if you don't have Mangle, use Claw, so it has to continue all the way down, just in case you don't get Mangle, but honestly, Claw is nothing. Lacerate and Maul are your two bear moves, so if you are a bear tank, instead of coming here at 72, I would wait till 73 so you can get Lacerate, Maul, and Swipe. This is a big upgrade, all three of these. Maul is going to be your likely your number one damage dealer, because you're going to have Glyph of Maul, which means it's going to be hitting two targets. You're going to be using Maul when you're single targeting. You're going to be using Maul when you're AoE targeting. So Maul is huge. So when you do want to upgrade as a bear, you're probably going to want to focus around your Maul upgrades. Lacerate obviously is your single target, and Swipe is your AoE. So these three together are really good. So as a bear, I think my first time would be probably to go to at 73 if I'm trying to space out as much as possible. Ravage isn't that important. That's why I didn't talk about it much. If you're questing and you're stealthing and then ravaging, yeah, it can be helpful, but honestly, most of the time you just face pull everything. It's faster, easier, and you're just going when you're questing. All right, 74 only has one. It's Maim. You already have a lower rank Maim, a rank 1 Maim, so you already have a spellcasting interrupt in your toolbox, so you don't absolutely need this. Plus it's just whatever. So I would definitely, this is more of a PvP anyway, with the exception of the spellcasting interrupt, which you already have. So 74, I would definitely skip no matter what class you are. 75 is Mangle, Savage Roar, Shred, and that's the one. Two Mangles, Savage Roar, and Shred. Now, Mangle is huge for both bear and cat, more for bear than cat, but still very big. But Savage Roar and Shred are huge for dungeon cats. Like if you are a dungeon cat, you want these two right away. If you are a questing cat, you want this thing right away. Savage Roar can, if you're doing it right, while you're questing, you can keep this rolling almost 100% of the time while you're killing stuff. Just increase your damage by so much. You're not using shred as much when you're questing, but you are using Savage Roar and you'll be using Mangle. So if you're a cat in any form, I would definitely consider 75 to be your big one. So if we're just going to go back to refresh, if you are a cat, 71 or 72 if you are soloing, and then again at 75 because of these 3 upgrades, especially Savage Roar. This thing's huge. If you're a bear, yes, Mangle Bear is here, and I do recommend grabbing it when you can. But it's not a crisis if you miss this one. It'll be really nice because it is one of your your big hit damage ones. But not a crisis if you absolutely can't get back at 75. Don't worry about it. 76 is just Cower. We're just gonna skip over that. Get it whenever you get a chance if you want. Demo Roar at 77. You got Demo Roar, Pounce, and Swipe Bear. Now, if you skipped from 75 and you're finally getting to it, Bear Swipe, and you're getting Mangle, that might make sense. But even then, Demo Roar is nice, but none of these are drop what you're doing, so you can skip 77 if you want to or have to. If you're just in the middle of a dungeon and you're like, hey, let's just push a couple more, get it going. Don't rush what you're doing. Just keep going. You'll get this eventually. 78 is just Ferocious Bite and Rake. If you're soloing, Ferocious Bite's good again, and Rake is for dungeon. So if you're doing one or the other, you might want to pick these up. But 78 only has these 2. If you skipped until all the way now, like if you didn't pick up the other Ferocious Bite at 72, yeah, you might want to eventually start grabbing some of this stuff. But I could put this off. 78 is not a big deal. And then 79, the final one. So you got Claw. Again, it's a joke. Maul, Ravage, and Tiger's Fury, and that's it. So Maul, obviously it's your big one, but you are at 79. It's not a crucial thing, but as a bear, Maul is going to be your big damage dealer. This is going to benefit you both in AoE and single target, so you might want to grab this. But as far as cat, yes, Tiger's Fury is going to be nice, especially now that you have Savage Roar, but not a deal breaker at all. I would probably skip this if I were any type of cat. It's really not that big of a deal. And then obviously when you hit 80, you pick up everything and you're done. So just to recap, if I am a dungeon cat, I am picking up 71 100%. I'm picking up 75 100%, and then I'm probably good all the way to 80. Maybe 78 for a Ferocious Bite, but there's really nothing else. Tiger's Fury. So yeah, so dungeon, you got 71, 75, and 80. That's it. If you are quest cat, I would go 72, 75, and then 80. And then if you really need to, 78, or if you really want to, 78 is a good one. If you're a bear, I would go all the way down to 73 would be your first time. Then I would do 75 only if you plan on going cat. Sometimes you can live without Mangle Bear though. And if you're not doing 75, I would definitely do it at 79 to have Maul, and you'd get Swipe Bear. But yeah, I definitely think there's no like hard time for a bear to upgrade. Just at some point you're gonna want to grab a couple of these, but none of them are crucial enough. You can hold off until 80. Anyway, guys, I just want to put this video out there. If you have any questions about this or any suggestions yourself, throw them in the comments. And as always, guys, take care.